Okay, so we're going to review the steps for some financial literacy questions and talk about some vocabulary. Okay, this is your review for your unit test tomorrow. All right, the first question says below is a copy of Julie's budget. You've got her expenses and you've got the income. What amount does Julie have left to spend? Okay, so you need to think about when we are balancing a budget, we want it to be even, right? The amount we spend and the amount we make should come out to the same number. All right, so we know what her income is and we know what her expenses are. So how could we find out what's left? Okay, so work that out and see if you can find out what amount Julie has left to spend. Okay, so you should have added the income up. That's 50, 75, and 35. 5 plus 5 is 10. 7 plus 5 is 12. 12 plus 3 is 15. Plus the 1 is 16. So she has $160 is her income. That's what she makes. And then you're going to add up the expenses, 35, 25, and 60. 5 plus 5 is 10. 6 plus 3 is 9. Plus 2 is 11. Plus 1 makes it 12. So her expenses were $120. So she is making $160 and she's spending $120. Well, when we want the budget to be balanced, they're going to be even. So how much could she spend of this $160 to make this even? All right, so it was $160 is what she makes. She right now has spent $120. Subtract. She has $40 left to spend. That should have been your answer, $40. All right. Erica's expenses exceed, which means go over, okay, the amount of money she earns. Which statement below describes an action Erica should take to balance her budget? Increase her spending, borrow money from friends and family, continue to spend more than she earns, or reduce unnecessary spending, or increase income until budget is balanced. Okay, so Erica's expenses are exceeding, which means she's spending way more than she's actually making. So if she's spending more than we're making, we're not going to increase our spending, are we? So it's not that one. Borrow money from friends and family, that's not always possible and should not be the answer choice. Okay, continue to spend more than she earns. Again, no, you don't want to increase. You don't want to keep spending your money. What you want to do is reduce unnecessary spending. Okay, if you can, you want to increase your income until your budget is balanced. Okay, it's a lot easier to reduce your spending, so cut corners a little bit, than it is sometimes to increase your income. Sometimes it's not as easy or as quick to be able to increase that income. Okay, so you have to just think logically what's the best step, and usually these two go together. All right. Kim wants to buy a new game system, but doesn't have any extra money in her budget to use towards the system. Which answer choice does not describe a possible solution to Kim's problem? Okay, so I don't have enough money to buy a game system. Which one of these answer choices is most likely going to be the one that is not possible? Get a second job to earn money to pay for the system. Reduce expenses until she has enough. Buy the system and worry about payments later. Or save money until she has enough to purchase the game system. Which one of those answer choices does not describe a possible solution? Okay, one solution would be to, yes, get a second job to earn more money. It's possible, right? All right, reduce her expenses until she has enough. Okay, that's also possible. Buy the system and worry about the payments later. No. This would be not possible. And the last one, save money until she has enough to purchase the game. So in other words, just continue putting money in savings. That would be a possible. So these are all possible answers. This one is not possible. You're not going to buy the system and worry about the payments later. Okay? You have to be responsible with your money. Sorry. You want to be responsible with your money. All right. Miss Bennett's budget is shown in the chart below. This is her income, and these are her expenses. How much can Miss Bennett put into savings each month and still keep her budget balanced? Okay, so you have to look at what the income is. You have to look at what the expenses are. And what can I put in savings to make these two things balance? Okay, what are you going to do? What can you do to make these two balance, meaning be the same number? Okay, so what you should have done, you should have added the income, $2,000 plus $2,000 is $4,000, and then added the expenses. So all of the expenses that we know equal $3,600. So we need to know how much she can put into savings to have a balanced budget. So 4,000, 3,600. We're going to subtract. 0, 0. 0 minus 6 would give me a negative number, so we have to borrow. That's 3, and this is 10. 10 minus 6 is 4, and then 3 minus 3 is 0. So savings is going to be $400. Okay, so if I add 400 over here, that's 10. That's 4,000. So her expenses are 4,000 and her income is 4,000. Okay, you're going to add the income, add the expenses, and then subtract to find what's missing. Okay. What should you do when your expenses exceed the amount you earn? So explain to me what you would do when your expenses exceed the amount you earn. Just put it in your own words. Okay, so I'll check your answer, but basically what it should say is that you're going to reduce the expenses and you're going to increase your income. Okay, you want to cut down on any unnecessary spending and increase your income to make your balance, your budget balance. All right, explain to me the difference between net income and gross income. Okay, so I'm going to, again, look over your answers so I can message you back. But it should have said that net income is the money you bring home, okay, after taxes. Gross income is what you earned before taxes. So remember, gross is what you earn from the hours that you've worked. Net is what you bring home after you've taken out the taxes on the money you've earned. Okay, tax that is calculated into the amount of your purchases. So think about that word, purchases. What is tax on the things that you purchase? Okay, that would be sales tax. All right. What is the tax that comes out of your paycheck and into the federal government? So this is the money you pay to the federal government. Which kind of tax would that be? Okay, that is your income tax. Okay, tax that comes out of your check and goes to things like Social Security and Medicare. Okay, that is payroll tax. Okay, payroll tax is what you pay for Medicare. And then you have property tax, which is just on your land and home, farm, stuff like that. Okay. All right, so now we're going to move on to data review. Stem and leaf. All right, so this is a stem and leaf. Here's the key. if you have the key and it says 4 with a line and 0, this is your stem, this is your leaf. Well, if I said it equals 40, that is a whole number 40, okay? So I want to know what the difference is between the greatest and the least scores. So what's the difference between the greatest number scored and the least number scored? Remember, when you're looking at it, 6 and 3 is 63. 6 and 4 is 64. Okay, what's the difference between the greatest and the least scores? Okay, so the greatest is 88. The least is 40. And then you subtract, because difference means subtract. Your answer is 48. Okay, the next one says, what's the total number of points scored? Okay, you're looking for a total. So you're going to look for the total of this. What's the total number of points scored? So think about, are you going to add, subtract? What are you going to do? Okay, what's the total number of points scored? Okay, so what you should have done was added 40 plus 41 plus 42 plus 63 plus 64, 65, 65, 71, 71, 72, 86, 87, 87, and 88. So what I did was I did all the stem 4. I did all of these, 40, 41, and 42. I got 123. And then the stem for 6, 63, 64, 65, and 65. I got 257. 71, 71, and 72 was 214. 86, 87, 87, and 88 was 348. And then I need the total, so we're going to add up all of these. So 8 plus 7 is 15, plus 4 is 19, plus 3 would be 22. So I'm going to carry my 2, bring down the 2. 5 plus 4 is 9, plus 1 is 10, plus 2 is 12, plus 2 more is 14. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the total number of points scored was 942. Okay. All right, and then we have a dot plot. On the dot plot, it says what fraction of the people have 2 or less children. So this is people with, and then the number of children each person has. All right, it says what fraction of the people have 2 or less children. Well, 2 or less means I'm looking at the number 2 and back. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 people out of 8, 9, 10, 11. 7 out of 11 people. So 7 elevenths. Okay. If that was these are both prime numbers. If they were even or numbers that could be divided, you would have to reduce it. Okay. Then it says, what's the mode of the most often used number? What is the mode or most often used? Remember we talked about mode, and I said mode, M-O, most often. All right, so there's 2 of them actually. So what are the 2 numbers that are going to be the mode for this number line? 1 and 3, because each one of them have 3 dots. Okay. All right. Frequency table. It's the number of times an event happens. All right. So on this one, it says types of pets, and then it says number of times and types of pet food purchased. So we've got dog food, cat food, bird food, and lizard food. If 24 different people came into the pet store to purchase their pet food, how many people purchased lizard food? Okay. If 24 different people, so I know it's 24 people. I know there was 12 that got dog food, 6 that got cat food, 4 that got bird feed. How many people got lizard food? Whatever that is. Okay, so all you had to do is add 12, 6, and 4. Okay. 6 plus 4 is 10, plus 2 is 12, and 1 plus 1 is 2. That's 22 people. The difference between 24 and 22 is 2. So that would be 2 people. Okay? The last one says which statement is true. So we're going to use this frequency table. Only 21 people were recorded. Okay, so count that. Is that 21 people? More bought bird food than cat food. So more buy bird food than cat food. Half of the people chose dog food. 11 people chose cat and bird food. All right. So all you have to do is look at it. So it says only 21 people were recorded. Well, we already know there was 24. 12 plus 6 plus 4 plus that 2 made 24. Okay. More bought bird food than cat food. Only 4 people bought bird. 6 people bought cat. Half of the people chose dog food. Well, if the total is 24, half of 24 is 12. So half of the people did choose dog food. So this would have been your answer. Okay. All right. So that's the most of it. You will have a couple of bar graphs. You will have a couple of scatter plots. So make sure you look over those notes. I'm not going to redo those again because those were just done. Make sure you have answered any questions, or I have answered any of your questions. Okay, if you have any, just if you're virtual or you're home still in quarantine, send me a message through Clever. Otherwise, if you're face to face, you need to ask. All right, and don't forget you have a test tomorrow.